Now that I've finished up everything, I'm going to say this just very simplistically and very direct. I think Next Prince was the biggest risk that we've seen out of the Demundi team when it comes to BL. But I do think story-wise, there were things that were very much difficult to digest. And even in its wrap-up, I'm still like not fully satisfied. I am proud of the fact that Ramil has been able to distance himself from his father and recognize that he is coming from a very broken backdrop, even with all the money he has access to, and that being with his lover really did make him whole. And making an apology and telling him he wasn't the one he deserved. I do think writing in that JJ's side story whilst having everything happening with the royal competition and everything else in between, it did make it cluttered. Calvin lying and apologizing for it, understood. But it just, when it boiled down to it, the chemistry was fine, but the story thread for them just didn't really matter in the grand scheme. Unless you're trying to get that whole a prince and a local being able to be together, that's its own side story. I get it, but I also feel like it just, there was too much going on. And lastly, if there's anything I paid attention to this entire series is Prince Kanin and his father. Many videos I've made, and you see me talking about the costume design and the choices of color. Every time, practically, when you saw Kanin and his father together in a scene, he was typically wearing black with undertones of white or gold, but mostly black was known. And that was because of the choice color, mostly by the costume designer, to display the conflict, the animosity, and the disconnect between the royal duties and the landscape versus Kanin's actual personal feeling. However, having him in this scene, I know the lighting may make it seem like it's cream. Having this color and just a tiny bit of black is the first time it's ever happened. Another shout out to the costume designer for this story beat within the clothes. Kanin wearing all this white symbolizes that he definitely is at peace with everything that's going on around him, from a royal standpoint to as a person. The only semblance of black is about the liberation of the country as well as liberating himself from royal duty. And once that was resolved, he was made whole. But again, if you look at from the first episode that you saw Kanin in the palace wearing black and interacting with his father on top of that, to this, it's been a very interesting ride to watch that unfold and notice the transition of seeing him wear less and less black around his dad during conflict or from with his grandfather to wearing white, symbolizing his wholeness. But the show is not the only one doing great costume design. I will watch out for Satani and others, but this show has done great on its scale and storytelling in that aspect. But again, I can't necessarily say I've loved the plot in all its ways. It's very bloated. There's a lot